Howdy there, folks. How are y'all doing? My name is Reese, and welcome back to more Tekkit Legends, the series that won't die. It just goes on and on until I cry. No, I'm enjoying it. You know, we wouldn't be doing it otherwise. But today I thought we would continue our discussion that we had last time about Kingdom Hearts and sort of how I approached and played the series the first time. And I believe I left the last episode on a bit of a cliffhanger, talking about how I couldn't believe blank. So I was thinking about this. I finished Kingdom Hearts 2 on, I believe Thanksgiving Day. If we didn't finish it on that day, I at least played a lot of it. And I have some very specific memories from that day. I remember, we need to go inside. I need to drop some stuff off I've been carrying around that I can't condense. We've needed to get rid of it for a while. I remember playing that. I remember being in the Pirates world. And I remember friend of the channel, patron supporter, overall great guy, Lucky Lou Dog, asking me to shout at his sister, Haley, and I did. And some of you might not remember that. It's been about a year ago now. That was the first sort of interaction we had as a community with Haley. Also the first time we found out that Lucky Lou Dog had a sister. And now we all know Haley. We all love Haley. She's great. And we hope you're doing well out there, Hales. But I remember that. So I finished all the games before the end of the year. So before December 31st of last year, I think. Pretty sure. I finished the games, and then I had a break before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, which itself is getting close to a year old, and that's wild. And of course, we've got the new DLC coming out for it. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it, it looks like. I can't wait to play that and stream that. I think it's going to be a really good time. But it feels like none of that was that long ago. And I have memories of coming home from work and sitting in my office. And originally, I think I'm trying to remember whether or not I had my big comfy chair behind me at that point, or if I was still, I think I dragged a beanbag in here maybe at one point or something. I can't remember. I just know that in between streaming it, I would sit down and I would just try to 100% the world, find all the chests. I remember doing this in Birth by Sleep. I remember doing this in Dream Drop. And man, it feels like yesterday. It does not feel like it's been a year, but it has to have been. It has to have been. If I finished at the end of November last year, so not quite a year, but pretty close. If I finished Kingdom Hearts 2, after that, I watched, was there a video between those two? I guess Recoded. And then I immediately jumped right into Birth by Sleep. And my goodness. After Birth by Sleep, no hesitation whatsoever, right into 3D, which I loved. I thought it was great. I mean, it had its ups and downs. The Tron world was probably the worst one. I remember disliking that world immensely, but kind of liking all the other ones, especially Riku's Pinocchio world. Thought that one was really cool. It had like a theme park you could run around in it. It does have some of the faults of the other Kingdom Hearts games in that these are just really empty worlds. And I like that that's fixed in Kingdom Hearts 3, that there's, people walking around in the various cities and whatnot. I think, people complain about Kingdom Hearts 3, and sure, it's got its faults, but I absolutely adore that game, for everything it does lore-wise and with the Disney worlds, and Frozen can go take a hike, but aside from that, I can replay it again right now, and I might. I've played through the entire game twice now. I might do it again on the anniversary, because I haven't done Crit yet, and that could be fun or horrible. Honestly, it could go either way. So I'd be well up for that. In any case, I guess I need to finish this. It's been almost a year since I did that, and I have these memories of coming home, and I have these memories of sitting down and bundling up in something warm because it was cold enough outside that was a necessity, and I remember playing. And because of all these memories I have, it feels, even though it's a franchise that I've been playing for, like I said, about a year, it kind of feels like comfort food in a way that, when I got sick and I just wanted to relax, Kingdom Hearts came to mind. I was like, I just want to sit down and play Kingdom Hearts. And I started with the original one because I knew that I hadn't given 1 and 2 like a good, fair shot because I hadn't played them as much. I mean, the only time I did any sort of extra off-screen content in 1 or 2 was when I did a little bit of leveling off camera so I could deal with the Roxas fight, which was a total disaster. Oh my gosh, that was hours of my life. I'll never get back trying to fight Roxas, my goodness. But so I was like, yeah, I'll go back to 1 give it a bit of a more of a fair shake, spend the right amount of time with it, like I did with Dream Drop and BBS, and we'll see where that gets us. And I've had a great time with it. I feel like Kingdom Hearts for me is a lot like I think we're gonna get rid of these corners, by the way. The more I look at this, the more I think it's time. Those have got to go. I'm not feeling them at all, and I'm also not feeling this, unless we want to do what we did down here, or like around. How did we do it around here? Where it's like elevated up above? I kind of want to do that up here too. And the easiest way to do that would just be to add some more. Make it double layer. But I also wondered, I wondered, I don't know, we could get some stairs under here, but these brows are in the way. You see what I mean? So we can't. And maybe that is for the best. Yeah. Let's stick with what we're doing right now. We'll go with doubles, and we're going to get rid of this. I've made the ultimate decision that this is just not going to be a thing. The idea of making it all square was terrible. Just absolutely terrible. We're not going to do it. Just delete all of this. There we go. We'll kind of keep the same design sensibility from down below. And it should work fine here. It'll kind of square this up, right? So that'll all be sort of an equilength, if you will. Equilength. Sounds like a medication you might need. Go get your Equilength today. Covered by most health insurance providers. Equilength. I don't know if that piece is necessary. What did I do on this end? Yeah, see, that just looks kind of dumb. Because it doesn't go all the way through. I mean, it looks symmetrical. But dumb. We'll get rid of it for now. We'll see how we're feeling about it later. The alternative is to not do doubles here, and instead move those bricks up a layer. Oh, strike me. We'll just make it part of the... Yeah, we'll do that, because then we can make it part of the floor layer from above. Like, instead of having... Yeah, you'll see what I mean as we go. We'll just do that instead. I kind of like how imposing it is having them double stacked, and that is more fitting for a roof. Maybe this should just be the roof. Maybe we shouldn't have a third layer. Right? Maybe after this, because we could just have this sort of double layer thing here, and then it can just top. That can be the top. We'll clean it up a little bit, and we can just be done with it. What do y'all think? I mean, it does raise into question why I have it go all the way out, if it's not going to have... How much does that destroy? If I right-click with that. Is that 3? Yeah, good. All right, just wanted to make sure. Well, I feel like I was knee-deep into conversation about Kingdom Hearts and then got really distracted there. I don't remember what I was saying. I do that a lot. It's a real problem for me. I don't know why I do it. It's certainly not an intentional thing. I never start off a conversation and think to myself, "Hey, I know what I'll do." Ha ha ha. I'm not trying to make these things hard to follow. I'm not trying to sound rambly. Like, these are stream of consciousness, sure, but I would like you to think that my consciousness streams in like a reasonable way. It doesn't, but I would like to at least present that. That falsehood as reality, you know. I also apologize for the coughing. No control over it, though, sadly. So what are we going to do about this room here? Now that I'm looking at it... Nothing. We're not going to stress it. We're just going to keep moving forward. We'll start addressing problems as we get to them instead of trying to preempt them. Right? That makes more sense. So, Kingdom Hearts... Oh, I remember now. I was going to say, I've found that I've taken to it a lot like I did the Zelda franchise. So the thing with Zelda is it is so intrinsic with gaming culture. Intrinsic is probably not the right word at all. But it is so intertwined with gaming culture that when I started my YouTube channel and I got more into gaming, like more than I had been before, like a lot more than I had been before, you start to pick up things about different franchises, even if you never played them. You learn things about Final Fantasy. I'd never played a Final Fantasy game until I played 7 earlier this year. But even going into 7, I'd heard so much about 7, and I knew so much about 7 that when certain things happened in 7, it was less me going like, oh, now I get this, or now I understand that. It was more so me being like, Or actually, no, that's exactly what it was. It wasn't me being like, whoa, shock. It was like, now I get it. Now it makes sense. Now I know what these references are from and what they're about. And it was very similar to playing the Zelda games for the first time. Playing through the Final Fantasy was very similar to that. And then playing through Kingdom Hearts was a very similar experience because I knew about Kingdom Hearts growing up. You couldn't have the Disney Channel and not know about Kingdom Hearts growing up. They played commercials for it all of the time, like all of the time. So I knew a thing or two about the story going in, and I'd also watched a couple of retrospective videos about them by King K, because King K makes cool content, kids. It's a lot of cuss sounds right there. And I knew the story of, I think, Chain of Memories, but I had no context for any of it. Like, I remember watching or reading a summary for Chain of Memories and being like, I already know all of this, but I don't know how. But I remember I did watch that video. I think it came up as part of just like a playlist, maybe a year before I ever played the games. Or maybe that's an overestimate, but I remember trying to figure out the story of Reach, and I'm like, why do I already know all of this? How did that happen? And that is how I already knew all of it. It's because I'd watched that retrospective just randomly one day. But a lot about these things because I saw the commercials, and going into it, I sort of had the knowledge that this was a beloved franchise. And of course, patron supporter, overall good guy, Hal Rondo and Laszlo were both very passionate about the series. And that sort of rubbed off on me in a way when I was starting my playthrough of it. And like, I already had this sort of secondhand interest and excitement in the series. So it was very easy for me to, much like I did with Zelda, just feel nostalgic for this thing that I had never actually played. And it helps that the game is it's a classic PS2 game. And I played a ton of those growing up. So it's got a lot of the tropes and a lot of the things that I'm familiar with PS2 games. So that also helped. But going into it for the first time, there's just a sense of familiarity there that helped me to, I want to say bond, but I don't want to say bond, but I kind of want to say bond. I bonded with the game in a way. And because of that, even though I'd never played it before, it was just a very sort of comforting gaming experience, like going home, playing a classic platforming action game on the PS2. And because I got deep into the series immediately after I started playing them, it makes sense. I got sick. I wanted something I loved and was comfortable with and familiar with. And even though I've only been a fan of Kingdom Hearts for a little over a year now, that's just what made sense to me. That's what made sense to my brain at the time. And I was like, what do I want to do? I just want to vegetate. I crawled my way out of my bed. I dragged my way into my office. I got in my chair. I believe the game was still in the PS4 from when I had recorded that look back video, that anniversary video. I just turned it on. There was that save, that proud mode save, and I was like, I'm not live streaming this, so I don't have to worry about entertainment value for other people. Yeah, I'm gonna do proud mode, and I'm just gonna take my time with it, and I'm just gonna ruminate on it. I'm gonna immerse myself in it, and if it takes a long time to finish, so be it. I think it's important when you do what I do on YouTube, where kind of almost my every waking gaming hour is being captured, and it's on film, it's on camera for folks to watch. It's important to have something you play that isn't that, something that's almost more personal. And yeah, I've been playing Dragon Quest XI S on the Switch. Still haven't finished it as of time of recording, but I've been ill, and I usually play my Switch games at work. I have a lot of downtime at work where I just sit in the van and I play video games, and it's fantastic. So been doing a lot of that. Questioning whether or not I want to end this hotel now. Do we want to? Let's go one more level with it, I guess. I guess we will go ahead and go one more level with it. Why not? We're this invested. We've got the time. We've got the resources. But this is the last level. How high do we want to go? How high did we go with this one? So between the beams, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess we'll do the same here. Although a couple of those come prior to No, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's about the same. Oh, we're out of time for today. I wasn't done talking about my gaming experience as well. Suffice to say, I spend a lot of time playing games during downtime at work on the Switch. So that's when I usually play Switch games. That's probably where, once I get back to work here, which on release day of this video, which is obviously today because I record these on the day that I release them. But when I'm at work, I'll probably wrap up or start wrapping up Dragon Quest XI-S on the Switch. It's a fun game. And then it's nice to know that I can come home and between editing and live streaming and all the other, feeding the dog and taking care of the house, painting things and whatnot, I can just fire up my PS4 and continue this adventure with Sora and Riku and Kairi and Donald and Mickey and Goofy and just enjoy myself. It's frustrating. It is very frustrating playing on Proud Mode and not being necessarily the best at video games. But so far I've overcome sort of every challenge, if not through just getting good, then by, occasionally running off and leveling up a little bit and then coming back and trying again. And I think that the pressure to, not the pressure to more or less entertain while live streaming is gone. I don't mind it. I don't mind running off and just barreling through some Heartless because I enjoy it. It's very simplistic combat in the first game, but it's combat that I enjoy doing. And I'm having a lot of fun. And I kind of don't want it to end. But on that note, I think we are going to end this video. Thank you folks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Bye!